Andrea here, live from Pogradec, Albania. Uh, going to talk a little bit about what Thanksgiving was like here in Albania for us Americans. Even though the Albanians don't celebrate the holiday, there are restaurants and so forth that make accommodations for people like us that are here and are used to having our day with turkey and stuffing and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about some of the trials and tribulations of getting our residency permits here, and just kind of dealing with some of those hurdles. And that's it. We'll probably keep it kind of short today, but we try and do this every Sunday, so just wanted to pop out here and give you guys a little bit of a live stream. So you like to say anything?
Just want to say hi to Dan and Michelle. Thank y'all for being here, and Valentino.
Hello, Dan and Michelle. Yes.
Appreciate you all coming. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. What did you all do over there on the coast? Did you go to any restaurants or what did you do? I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, were there other Americans there celebrating with you? Or yeah, we would love to hear about what you did. Hello, Spider Webster, wherever in the world you are these days.
Hi, Spider Webster.
And we'd like to hear, from if you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you're still here in Albania, and what you did.
Yeah, so like Craig was saying, there's several as far as we know, there's at least a couple of restaurants around Albania that do Thanksgiving, including the Stefan Center in Tirana. It looks like Spider Webster is in Tirana currently. Let us know, Spider, if you went to the Stefan Center for Thanksgiving. And there's probably at least a couple other restaurants that do it. But as far as we know, this might have been the first time it was done here in Pogradec.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. When you and I first came here, we were like really anomalies. There were not very many Americans living in Pogradec. There were just a few of us. Mm-hmm. And over the past, I'd say 6 to 8 months, the numbers have really exploded. A lot of Americans looking to leave the U.S. and retire here. Albania has obviously gotten a lot more people are leaving the U.S. in droves these days to go all over the world, but Albania hasn't been that popular until recently, and it's kind of been discovered in the past couple of years. And now we're starting to see a lot more American immigrants or expats, kind of depending on what their situation is, coming here to live and retire, or to at least spend some time here. So yeah, that's kind of the situation, and we do believe that this was probably the first Thanksgiving meal that was celebrated here in Pogradec. We'd like to at least claim that it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was we were very lucky. We have a local traditional restaurant in town with some really nice folks, a family-owned establishment. And its name is Taverna Aranci. Is that correct?
That's, I believe we're saying that correctly. It looks like it's Taverna Aranci. It is possible that we're pronouncing it incorrectly.
It's very possible.
It's a new place. It just popped up over this summer.
Yes, correct. Believe. Yes, it's a family restaurant.
A local family owns it.
Mostly traditional.
Yeah, mostly all traditional Albanian food. And they hosted it for us this year. And thank you to Gina for helping to get that set up, and to our friends Tona and Dennis as well, who helped to kind of
put it all together and make sure that it happened, and made sure that no American had to go without Thanksgiving dinner here in Pogradec. So yeah, it was really lovely.
It was a lot of fun, and several Albanians. So we had some Albanian friends come, and then of course the staff was Albanian, and they tried some of our dishes, some of the traditional Thanksgiving dishes. So that was a lot of fun to see them trying things for the first time that they hadn't tried before.
Yeah, so they made some of it, and it was also a potluck. So we all brought something. Andrea made just an absolutely stellar apple pie. It was so good.
It was Martha Stewart quality, not going to lie.
It was beyond Martha Stewart quality. So good. I'm not even an apple pie guy, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm very proud of this because I just don't bake, and I have a history in my family of messing up every pie I've ever tried to create, and this one just turned out perfect. So I'm very, very proud of this one.
Yeah, and we had not just Americans there, but there were a few Albanians there as well, including some of the staff of the restaurant that got to try her apple pie, and it got stellar reviews from everybody. Her first apple pie, and it was absolutely knocked it out of the park. Super good.
Thank you, Michelle. Mary is asking, how was the turkey? The turkey was fantastic. So this was the most fresh turkey I've ever had in my life. I guess it was just like...
Yeah, no frozen turkey here.
No frozen turkey.
The people, the proprietors of the restaurant, they went up to Elbasan, which is about two hours from here, and they got a couple of live turkeys, brought them back, named them, fed them for a day, and then...
I didn't name them. Stop it.
Then, took them out so that we could have a turkey dinner.
Yeah. Again, I've never had a fresh turkey before. I've always had just the frozen store-bought ones. So it was cooked up really well. Like they do this all the time. Like we got two big ones, and they were both just cooked phenomenally. They were really well done.
They did a really stellar job. They also made really good mashed potatoes. And what else? They made mashed potatoes for us. It was they ended up turning it out. They made it really fancy. It was nice. It was almost like a puree. Yeah.
Because they just don't do a lot of mashed potatoes here in Albania. That's not something you see on the menus. And then, yes, they did the green bean casserole, which I believe was the first time they've ever made that. And it turned out really good.
Everything they did was fantastic.
Yeah. And then we all the families each brought something.
Yeah. So Tona and Dennis, they made pumpkin pie, which was also
they were fantastic.
Clay brought deviled eggs,
and Michelle brought the
sage stuffing.
The sage stuffing, yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
And then there was some other stuffing as well. I don't know who brought that, or if it was by the restaurant. There was two different stuffings: the sage stuffing, and then the stuff because
the one that was with the turkey, I think the restaurant made.
Okay, yeah, and it was also very, very good. So.
Yeah, so it was a really nice time.
It was a really, really nice time, and we all had fun. And so Thanksgiving in Albania, who would have thought?
Thank you, Spider Webster. She says, "Congrats on the pie baking." Thank you. I bragged to my whole family about it, and they had a lot of jokes because they remember my failed attempts at making pies in the past. And Spider Webster says the turkeys that weren't pardoned.
Yeah, they were not pardoned. No. But yeah, the apple pie was amazing, and I want to give you credit where credit's due. She didn't buy a pie crust, but she did it all from scratch. 100%.
I made my own pie crust. I told Dad as I pulled it out of the oven, I was like, "Look, it's my first pie crust."
Yeah, it was really stellar. So we're all very proud of Andrea.
Thank you.
Very impressed, and it couldn't have gone better in terms of the cooking of the apple pie. Very good, especially for your first time. That's really awesome. I like to consider myself a really good cook, but I am not a baker, so that's kind of intimidating. No, we didn't. The apples from my orchard, I didn't get that many this year, but the ones I did get, they've gone past. So we bought all brand new fresh apples. So
yeah. Dan, the place in Durrës. Oh, so Dan and Michelle said they went to Durrës.
Oh, okay. So you guys had to travel a little bit.
I'm sorry. I don't remember what it said, but I think they went to a restaurant that was doing some kind of. Oh, it says here. The place in Durrës had great turkey plus a couple of mystery dishes, mashed potatoes, the consistency of gravy. Yeah, that's how ours was. And some kind of mushrooms sliced like fat noodles. Oh, that's interesting.
Huh. How many other immigrants or expats were at your holiday feast, Dan and Michelle? I'm just curious, out there in Durrës. For those that don't know, Durrës is really close. You almost call it the coastal part of Tirana. Tirana is the capital city here, and then Durrës is about 40 minutes west out on the coast. And it's relatively popular with expats. Certainly more popular than
for sure
Pogradec has been, but now Pogradec is growing. So
when I first moved to Albania, I heard mostly about Tirana, Durrës, and Saranda. There was a lot less social media out about Korça and Pogradec and Shkodra and all these other places that you hear a lot more about now. But that was only a year and a half ago, 2 years that they weren't. So Durrës, I do believe, is very big with expats.
Oh, Dan says 43 expats in Durrës. Interesting.
All right.
So that's quite a that's a big community. So here we probably have 12, maybe. Something close to that.
Yeah, maybe give or take.
Yeah, give or take a couple. So yeah, that's interesting. It's a growing expat community here, or immigrant community. All depends on like kind of what your status is.
Yeah, not everyone is from the U.S.
Not
that
everyone's
we've met
from the
here
US.
that are expats in the area.
Yeah.
Most of them are. Leslie Scrabble Buddy, good to see you. We're excited to see you as well. Michelle says the sweet potatoes and pumpkin soup was out of this world. Ooh, that does sound good.
It does sound really good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not like a Thanksgiving Northern European food kind of guy, but everything was really delicious.
Yeah. It was. And it was just a lot of fun. It was also fun to share it with people who have never had Thanksgiving before.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That was a good experience for everybody, including our Albanian friends. So that's fantastic. You have any other comments?
I saw one pop up on the screen and then it went away and it didn't come up down here. So I don't know what happened to it. Spider Webster was asking, did you have to special order the turkey or does the butcher carry it?
No. Well, turkeys are pretty common here, especially during the holidays. And you probably missed the beginning when we were talking about the Taverna Aranci, which is the local place that hosted this for us. They traveled up to Elbasan, which is a town here where
Was it like a turkey farm?
Probably a turkey farm. I know traveling through there.
They said it was wild.
Well,
it was wild caught.
Well, maybe they catch them and pen them up. That's because I know Elbasan has quite a few turkeys because I've driven through there during the holidays before, and there were lots of people walking around with dead turkeys. So it's kind of a thing in that area. So they went up there. They procured 2 wild turkeys, and then brought them back and then cooked them for us, and it was fantastic. So they were super fresh. Probably were killed that morning and cooked. So
if not the day before.
The day before, yeah. So super fresh, nothing frozen, fresh turkey. So it was absolutely delicious.
Nice. So I am rebooting the page. For some reason, the new comments aren't coming up. I'm seeing them pop up on here, but then they disappear. But
that's weird.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. There we go.
The other expats, some of them are a couple, Clay and Jennifer.
Where did the other expats in Pokedetch come from? Mostly the U.S., different states around the U.S. There's a couple that's from Israel, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about, but they weren't there. Virginia, the U.S., Texas. I came here from Maine. You came here from Ohio. Trying to think of where Minnesota, Tona and Dennis. Yeah.
Yeah, all over.
So all over. Yeah, and there are some other immigrants here that have come from Great Britain. We've met.
Yeah, that's right.
But obviously they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so this was kind of this was an American.
Oh, and Jessica, and
yeah,
they're from
New Zealand.
New Zealand,
yeah,
right, yeah. And so they didn't come either because Thanksgiving isn't their holiday. And we of course told them that they were more than welcome to come, but I think they were busy with work that night.
Yeah.
So yeah, all over. Spider Webster says the type of potato you use matters. They're bred for different things. I've only seen one type of potato in Albania so far. It seems more like a roast, creamier potato to me. Yeah. That's something I complain about.
That is definitely, she complains about that at least
like I need
twice
more
a week.
varieties
I want
potatoes.
more potatoes, and I miss the little fingerling potatoes and stuff like that. Those are always good. So yeah, we just have like these mean, they're great. I mean, I really enjoy them.
When I was walking today, I saw a big basket of the red potatoes that I haven't seen before. I was like, but I was busy and I couldn't grab them.
Okay, so we have at least 2 varieties.
I have to remember where they are because I'm going to go buy that whole basket. And I do occasionally see sweet potatoes, not super often, and they tend to be a little pricey.
Yeah, specialty item. So
yeah.
There you go.
Let's see, Dan. The dessert was the old-fashioned big shredded wheat with a scoop of ice cream. Interesting.
Yeah, I've never had that before. So yeah, interesting.
Michelle says we had 2 Albanians, an Italian woman, and 1 from Belgium as part of the 43. Awesome.
Oh, good. Well, I hope
Nice.
they enjoyed it. I hope it was an interesting experience for them. It's always fun to try other people's culinary traditions and see what it's all about.
Yeah, and again, this is my first time. Like as I've been here, I've been trying a lot of new Albanian foods and different ethnic foods, but this is my first time making American food for Albanians, and I think it was for a lot of the people there, and it was so fun. The Albanians claim they like it. I don't know if they were just being nice to us.
No, they did. They seemed really, really excited about it. Yeah, it's different. Experiencing new foods is always fun. Like I'm still having dreams about the schnitzel from Germany.
I know. German food is amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't eat a lot of meat, but I had this pork knuckle there that I can't stop dreaming about.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
I had some of the pork knuckle and it was to die for.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. Spider Webster said, just saying that's likely why the mashed potatoes came out like gravy. Yeah. We're used to the different potatoes.
But they weren't. It wasn't like they were bad. Like
certainly not. It was very good.
Very much puree, but it was delicious, full of butter. I mean, it's hard to go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Really, really good. So, a really good Thanksgiving experience here in Albania. Bringing a new tradition here and trying to share it as best we can with people. And I think it went over really well. And
I'm sure we'll do it again next year, and there'll probably be even more people. We're probably going to fill up that little restaurant.
Yeah, and again, thanks to Tona and Dennis.
Yeah, thanks Tona and Dennis
for making sure all this happened, and Taverna
Aranci.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you're passing through Pokerdetch, make sure you check out Taverna Aranci. It's a new place, locally owned by a local family, and they're just lovely. And we've always had such a great experience here, and the food is always really good and affordable.
It's one of the few places in Pokerdetch where it's pretty much their menu's traditional. They don't really stray away from that too much. A lot of there's a lot of Italian food here, lots of pizza, sushi, all sorts of things like that. But there's not actually that many dedicated Albanian places, and in fact, Tradita is one of them, and they just closed down. So there's one less.
Genti place is traditional.
Genti, they have.
And a lot of places will have a section of their menu that's like traditional Albanian, but then they'll have other things on the menu. I see that a lot.
So Taverna Aranci, thank you very much, and check it out if you're here in Albania. As Andrea said, very affordable too. They have really great prices, and
would this be a good time to plug Gina's website?
Sure, absolutely.
So Gina is our local Albanian friend. We've talked about her before. She helped to set this up. She did a lot of translating to ask them if we could do this there. And she does a lot of work with expats and travelers coming through the area. So if you are coming through the area and you need help with anything, you need a translator, you need help learning a language, you just need help like scheduling appointments, finding doctors, all those kinds of things. Our friend Gina is a great resource for that. And her website is...
You brought it up. I thought you were going to be ready.
Howcanihelp.al.
That's right.
Howcanihelp.al. That's Gina's website. And you're also welcome to reach out to me if you forget that or if I have that wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I could definitely hook you up with Gina. She has been wonderful in helping us to figure out life here. It looks like we're buffering. Can you all still hear us?
I think we're doing okay. I think it might be your computer.
Oh, maybe.
You've been having some issues with.
I've been.
Yeah, with the computer has been like. I think Apple's like intentionally throttling down her computer.
It's been very. Yeah, maybe I need to like clear out my cookies or something because lately my computer's just been really slow. All right.
I'm gonna blame the tech bros at Apple.
Yeah, don't get them started. Spider Webster says, I agree. I still make mashed potatoes with Albanian potatoes. It's just different texture. Yeah, yeah. And I like those potatoes too because we were talking about this. There's a way they make these potatoes that it comes out so creamy. Like even when they bake them, that they're really smooth. I don't know how to describe it, but I love the potatoes here.
Yeah, they are good.
Just need more options.
Absolutely. Yeah. The more options, the better, no matter where you are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How's the learning Albanian going? Man, we are really kind of struggling with that a little bit. It's
I didn't see that question pop up yet.
Yeah.
So we just missed class today.
Yeah.
But we had a good reason today.
Yeah. So I'm dealing with like some medical issues. I'm having a problem with one of my feet, and I'm actually we're going to Toronto on Wednesday to go see a podiatrist about it. It's a problem I've had before. With my other foot, and now I'm having it with this foot where I get this swelling and pain in between the balls of my feet, and it makes it impossible to walk. So lovely Andrea here has been taking care of me and making sure I get fed and everything. So she's been very sweet, but it's very frustrating for me because I can't walk right now, and I'm really, really kind of stressed out about it. But it is what it is, and I'm going to go see a specialist on Wednesday. And Spider Webster asking if we found the podiatrist.
So yes. So I'm taking him to my physiotherapist in Toronto, the guy that I see for my back. I've talked about that a few times. Dr. Andrea Santembrini, and he's fantastic. And he has a podiatrist that comes in a couple times a month. We're actually seeing Dr. Andrea on Wednesday. He's going to do the evaluation. So he's not actually the podiatrist.
Oh.
And then he's going to let you know if he's going to refer you to his podiatrist or not.
Okay.
He might be able to just do some adjustments and get you fixed up. We'll find out.
Sounds like gout. Yeah, I don't think it's gout. I've had gout before. This is in between the balls of my feet. It's not like on the toe joint or anything like that. It's I don't think gout is what it is.
Yeah, I've had gout before too, and that doesn't seem like what it is. But we're kind of treating it like that could be a factor.
Yeah,
like
we're
watching your diet and everything.
Definitely watching the diet, trying not to consume too much sugar or meat or anything. So.
We diverted from the original question.
Yeah, what was the original question?
How are the Albanian lessons going?
Oh yeah, we're struggling.
We're taking them. We're taking the lessons. We're doing our homework. We are not spending as much time studying as we could, but we do a little bit of studying each week. And you're really good about practicing the language when we're out and about, like, shopping or going to restaurants. I'm not. I tend to get panic, and then I just start using English words. Or I'll start fumbling and I just start saying every Albanian word that comes to my mind, and it doesn't always fit the occasion.
Yeah.
But so we're trying. We're trying. We're going to continue to try.
It's hard. You have to block out time to really work on these things, and we just haven't been able to. We're both busy.
Well, we have. I mean, we've been making time for our classes and our homework and stuff.
Yeah, but that's not. It's like you have to spend a half hour to an hour every single day.
We need to be doing it daily, and that's the problem. We really do.
Something always comes up. Something else always needs to be done.
Which are all excuses. We could make time.
Yeah,
we're just not.
I'm going to go with the excuses.
No, we could make time. We make time for things when it's important. We need to make more time for our language classes.
Okay.
Okay, good. Spider Webster says there's no interruptions. Michelle says the same. I'm all over the place with the questions, but it looks like in Pokradec is making up for its dry summer. Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of rain, an insane amount of rain. In fact, we were walking to the little grocery store in my village the other day, and apparently had undermined the foundation of a wall that somebody had around their house, and this entire brick wall had just collapsed. And I felt it at my house. I heard it and felt it. And I thought, did we just have a little earthquake or something?
Yeah.
And we didn't. I was wondering what it was. And then we took a walk, and it's it was this massive brick wall that just completely collapsed. So.
And I've heard there's some flooding in Saranda and some in Tirana. Genti was talking about some flooding problems in Toronto, and that was before all this second wave of rain came in. It's been raining every day, which is, when we're at home and watching the rain over the lake, it's really beautiful. It's actually a very nice view, and we've had some snow on the mountains nearby, I think I posted a short on it, and it's really beautiful. But yeah, it's been raining pretty much every day for the last several weeks.
Yeah, it's we've had some glimpses of sun, but yeah, it's been
it'll come out
quite soggy. Yeah.
And I've heard that. I heard that when I first moved here, that November's their rainiest month, and it definitely seems true.
Yeah.
All right. What are Albanian potatoes? So
they're like regular potatoes.
They're like regular potatoes.
What does it even mean?
Not. I think I said it earlier. Albanian potatoes, and I think I was just referring to the way they cooked them. When they I think they steam them and then they bake them, and they come out just. It's different. Yeah,
well, I mean, I think they're white potatoes. Like if you're familiar with white potatoes in the States, they're not like a russet or anything like that. Like white potatoes are kind of, about the size of baseballs, roughly, and they're brown skin, and
they grow on the ground.
They grow in the ground, and yeah, I would say that they're probably just white potatoes. I'd be surprised if it was something special or anything, something like that. But they're very good.
They're yummy.
I boil them and then fry them with olive oil a lot and herbs, and that's always pretty delicious.
It's funny. I'm just remembering this. When I first moved here and I tried the potatoes here for the first time, they look like normal potatoes that you'd get anywhere else. I remember saying to Jesse, I'm like, this potato flavor is so strong. And I think it was just such a healthy potato that it had a much more strong potato flavor than the potatoes that I was used to in the U.S.
Things grow naturally as opposed to, lots of small farms as opposed to a big mass-produced farm where, the soil is probably not that great anymore and they rely on fertilizers and so forth. You rely on fertilizers here too, but it's usually like manure or something like that, something more natural, as opposed to these, massive farms you see when you fly over the Midwest where they have circular irrigation and, it's different kind of operation here. So flavors of all the vegetables here are
it's
better.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's one thing that I absolutely love about here is that not only the flavor, but the cost of produce here is very affordable. And most of the produce that we buy is coming from all these little local family farms. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michelle says we missed our Albanian lessons on Friday. Okay, so
welcome to the club.
And Dan said something like, if you run out of excuses, he's got some that he has a bunch of excuses if we run out.
I think that our biggest problem is, we've always got different things going on, so we don't have very structured temporal days, or like there's always every day is different. We got something, so it's just been difficult to okay, from this time to that time we're going to do this. Plus we're not always together either.
We can
that's the other thing.
We're just making excuses. We could make it happen.
I'm making excuses. You're calling me out on it.
When I have to work, I'm at work. You know what I mean? Like we can, if we put it on the schedule and we commit to it, we could make it happen. And we need to put a little bit more time and effort into learning the language.
We're big disappointments to Gina, who's our teacher.
She has not said that. She's been very kind and patient with us.
Extraordinarily patient.
Yes, she has. She's been wonderful, and she's a great teacher. So if you need a good teacher and you're in the area, let us know or reach out to howcanihelp.al.
Yes.
Or just reach out to one of us. We'll certainly get you hooked up with her as well.
I do try to work. I work on it on the fly usually. Like I try to look up words in a situation, like if we're at a restaurant or something, and I need what's the word for dark? And I've looked that up a couple times, and because there's a tangent here. Corcha beer is is a local beer they make here, and they make two varieties. Good. It's very good. They have a blonde. I think they're both lagers. A blonde lager and a dark lager. The blonde lager is everywhere. For whatever reason, you cannot find their dark beer unless you actually go to Corcha. Sometimes in the grocery store, but you actually had the last time I had it was at the brewery, and it's so good. And I think maybe Albanians just don't like dark beer, and then maybe they export all of the dark stuff. It's kind of strange, but it's just one of those things. So.
But it got you to look up the word.
But it got me to look up the word dark and ask for it at several restaurants and be told we don't have. So it's okay.
But again, you're really good about that, about trying to use the language when we're out. I get uncomfortable and I panic and I just start pointing to things or using English. And so I appreciate that you muscle through those awkward situations.
I think that's usually the best way to learn, but we definitely need to sequester time to sit and like focus and do like, a more scholarly type academic study on learning this language, which is
okay. You're using some very intimidating words. I just want to study a little bit more.
And there's no there's no Duolingo, or it's such an obscure language that there's not a lot out there that like for easy little practice.
Even though it's not on Duolingo, there is another app that's very similar to Duolingo and almost as good that does have Ship.
Okay, we'll have to look at it. Ship is the Albanian word for
$10 a month. And I know you're not a subscription.
Oh, I don't pay for subscriptions. I'm sorry, I don't do that.
But we have Gina, and we have homework that we need to do.
Yes, and I have a book too that my mom gave me, and I've looked at like 3 times. So I need to get on that. It's my fault. It's 100% my fault.
Spider Webster says, "Yep, I'm trying to get regular about language as well. However, being here alone makes me use Albanian more. I have no English-speaking friends here." Oh, that's interesting. What area are you in? If you don't mind me asking.
Toronto.
Oh, she did say that. Yeah.
And somebody asked if we have moved on to, if we've talked about our residency permits yet. No, we haven't. That's coming up next. In fact, we'll probably transition.
Okay,
to that in just a
we
second.
we can move on. Dan says, "I like beer that matches my soul, dark."
And look, this is, if I can gripe for a second, that their dark beer is absolutely amazing, and it just blows me away. I can't, it's literally brewed 40 minutes from here, and I can't seem to find anywhere to get it. I've gotten it once at the grocery store, but the last couple of times I looked, it wasn't there. The blonde Korcha everywhere. The dark Korcha,
they're both very
nowhere.
Good. Actually, I'm not sure that I've even tried the dark. Now that I think about it,
I don't think you have, because you never see it anywhere. And the blonde, it's fantastic beer. But,
all right. Moving on.
I think
we're getting them worked up.
I think Albanians just don't like dark beer. I think that's...
Maybe ask Gina. She'll tell you.
Yeah, I will. That's a good...
Gina's a great resource for everything.
So we'll move on to...
residency permits.
Moving on to our residency permits, So we have 2 different types of residency permits between us. Andrea has a digital nomad permit, and I have property here. So I have what's called a use of real estate permit. And they differ mostly in, there's a few differences. There's like income requirements are different. Some of the documentation is different. But the length of stay is the same. They're both 1-year permits that have to be renewed every year, although I'm working renewing mine right now. And I've hired an attorney this time, and hopefully I can get a 5-year permit, so I don't have to keep doing this. And then at the end of that, I'd be eligible for citizenship if I can speak the language, which is one more reason I really need to step up my efforts in that department. So
and there's so many other visas as well. When I hear about our friends applying, they all talk about the different paperwork that they need, and like what requires apostilles and what doesn't. So every visa is going to be very different in the requirements. Yeah,
every visa is very different. Thanks for watching, Aunt Chicky. She's going to cut out. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for being here.
Every visa is different. They have visas for scientific research. They have work visas for specialty workers.
Volunteer visas.
They have volunteer visas. They have humanitarian visas. They have the real estate visa like I have, the digital nomad visa like you have.
Which isn't called digital nomad visa. It's one of their unique visas. So it was a little confusing to find out information. But when you look at all their visas, there's a set of visas called unique visas. And one of them is, I think it might say remote worker or something like that, something similar to that. But last I checked, they weren't using that terminology, digital nomad, necessarily. So don't get confused.
And then they have like family reunification visa. So if you're married to an Albanian or you have Albanian relatives. And so there's at least a dozen, maybe a few more. And the laws here are like constantly changing. So there might be some new ones, and they may have taken some away. But
even when I was in the middle of the process of getting my visa, one of our many trips to Korcha, to the immigration office, the lady we were working with, who was absolutely lovely and very helpful and sweet, she said, "Oh, the law just changed, and we don't know what it is yet. We're going to find out next week."
Yeah.
So laws are changing actively. I attempted my visa alone and ended up going with an attorney. You did yours alone, and I think the big conclusion we can come to is please work with an attorney.
Yeah, I did mine alone. I had some help. I have a friend.
Oh, that's
here.
right. You weren't alone. You did have a local Albanian help you, and that's one of his profession. His specialties is working with paperwork.
Yeah, to some degree. He runs a small business here, and there are a lot of Americans come through there, so he helps them with their residency permits, and he helped me. I have another friend who's a translator who translated some of my documents for me. So there was that. But in terms of the actual filing and everything, I was pretty much on my own. And it was an ordeal. You think you have all your correct paperwork, you submit it, and then you'd get a rejection and would say, "Oh, this document's wrong, that document's wrong," but they don't tell you what's wrong about it. So it was pretty difficult.
So just to clarify, when you submit it, we're talking about submitting it online. So you can do your application online. You create an account, you fill out your initial application. Try to fill it out quickly because that page will time out, and you can spend half an hour filling everything out, and then you go to hit submit and the page is timed out and you're going to have to start over. But it can be confusing. There are questions on there that are very confusing. Like there were certain questions that asked about where you were from, and I was looking for United States or America, and I couldn't find those. You had to look under the Albanian word for United States, and it starts with SH.
Yeah.
SHP.
SHP or something like that.
Yeah, so look under SH, and then you'll see United States after that. And then there are just a few other little nuances to the application that were kind of confusing.
Yeah, I mean, if you do decide to do it yourself, I highly recommend you go to the application and screenshot the actual document, fill everything out yourself and then go back to it and then just plug in all your information. But I strongly recommend getting an attorney for this because they will make it go much more smoothly. My experience was difficult. I had to submit and resubmit, and I would submit a document one day and it would be rejected. And I'd be like, well, this is a document. I don't know what else they want. And I would submit the same exact document the next day and would get accepted. And I was like, oh, okay. I just don't know. So for my renewal, I went through an attorney, and she's helping me with it. We're currently in process, and it's not without its challenges. Like you get everything submitted, and then she sent me a message the other day. It's like, oh, well, they're not happy with this, and you need to go get this document. Oh, my the deed to my house has to be fresh. Like it needs to be within 6 months. So I had to go get a new, not the deed, but there's some government document that talks about where my house is, what it is, the space, and everything else. It's like the registry for the cadastral unit, and so I had one and we submitted it. It's like, but it has to be within 6 months. And then you ran into issues when you did your initial one where you submit a document. It's like, oh well, it has to be notarized and apostilled.
Translated, notarized, and or apostilled. So out of my documents, which of course are different, I needed my background check, my employment contract, and a few other things. And several of the documents need to be officially translated. So you can't translate it yourself. I did try that. It didn't work. So you have to get an official translator. We both have different ones. I think I paid maybe $10 per page, or 1,000 lek, which is a little over $10, and for each document, and so maybe around $40 or $50, and then they put a stamp on it that says it was officially translated. And then some of them needed to be notarized, so I had some of them notarized, and then some of them needed to be at least two of them needed to be apostilled. I had an apostille done because I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm here, so I had an apostille done online. And that ended up getting one of my documents through, but not the other. My background check would not go through with the online apostille. They wanted it from somewhere in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding out through you and the immigration office that if you can't get an apostilled background check, you can go to the embassy in Tirana and fill out an affidavit that says you have a clean background, more or less.
Yeah.
Which is turned out to be much easier. So I did that after trying to get the apostille.
Yeah, which, you can imagine what a hassle that is to try and get all these documents sent over, apostille, and all this stuff takes time. It all costs money. And sometimes you don't know, like you think you've got everything submitted and you're like, oh, good, I'm done with this. I can breathe easy. And then you get this notification, oh, you have to do all this. And it's like, well, this is like a new mountain of paperwork and logistics that I have to deal with to get this special document sent somewhere, looked at. Yeah,
because you can send your documents back to the U.S. They take care of the apostille and then send it back, and you're looking at several weeks, maybe well over a month.
Yeah, it could be several months. In fact, I know in order to buy my house, I needed to have my birth certificate and something else apostilled. Oh, several. I needed my birth certificate, my state ID, and my my divorce paperwork, all notarized and apostilled. And that was all in 3 different states. I was a resident of Maine, so I had the ID there. I had my birth certificate in New Jersey, and I had my divorce paperwork in Florida. So I had to contact all these different agencies, get them to find the actual paperwork, pay for the paperwork, and they send it to you. And then I had to send it back to the State Department of those states for them to apostille it and then send it back to me again. So hundreds of dollars, months of just wanting you to pull your hair on because you just want to get this done. And it's like, you don't understand why it has to be so complicated, but that's just how it is. So
with mine, I was running out of time on my 1 year. And I was ready to give up. And you helped me find an attorney, and I reached out to the attorney, and same one that you're using, I believe.
Yes.
And she was able to call the immigration office and kind of smooth things over. And they said, well, I guess since I was in the process enough, they were able to okay me overstaying my 1 year before the paperwork was finalized, which made me a little uncomfortable. I mean, we certainly didn't cross any borders during that time. But it was nice to have an attorney in my corner talking to the immigration office during this process. And she was able to get them to more or less expedite my process because they knew I was out of time. So I was kind of able to cut the line a little bit to get things moving. And then, but once they finally accept all that paperwork, you're not done.
No, you're not done. It seems like you're never done.
But so at that point, they give you an additional 1 month or 2 months. 1 month.
Yeah.
2 months.
I think it was a few weeks, and you were you had to get all this other stuff done within that time.
Yeah. So they give you 2 months, but I think you have to have the additional certain other steps done.
Well, basically, they'll give you extra time, but you need to start the rest of the process immediately because that process takes time, and you can run out of that month or 2 months, whatever it is.
And I did.
Yeah. So it's you don't ever sleep on it. It's like, I've got a couple months now. It's like, no. Like the day after you get this, you need to start the rest of the process and you just have to keep moving forward and putting one foot in front of the other. It's a bit of a slog, and it required multiple trips to Corcha, and then you have to, not everything's done in the same office, so you have to go get banking documents verified and for the payment of the visa, and then you have to go to the post office, and they give you some kind of stamp that pays for the biometrics works that gets done. And when I went, nobody there knew what I was talking about. And finally they went and got the manager who did know about this biometric stamp, so she issued it to me. But if you went in there and she was off that day or something like that, they just had no clue what I was talking about. And I made a special trip just for that. But luckily it worked out. So then you pay for this biometric stamp. And then you take that back to the immigration office with your bank documents that said you paid for the visa and everything, and all of your hard copies of the documents you've already submitted online. And then they give you they take your picture, they take your fingerprints, and then you leave, and then you have to wait for the official residence permit to be issued. That usually takes a couple of weeks. Then you have to go back there, and don't forget the stamp because you need the stamp still to get the card once you're there. So
yeah, I almost lost mine. I was so nervous.
yeah, I remember that.
But we got it.
So you got to make sure you keep all this paperwork together, keep everything in one spot, and make sure you, like, I just started bringing a dossier of everything I had every time I went somewhere, because it was always, oh, you don't have your third grade, diploma. You're going to have to get that kind of thing. So
yeah. And so like they used my lease for my residency permit, and that paperwork went through. But then that second part of the process, you have to go to some office in town to get.
Yeah, you have to go
updated in their system.
Yeah, you have to go to the municipality where you live and register as a resident there. And then we went there, and they didn't want to accept your paperwork.
They didn't want to accept. They're like, this isn't it.
Yeah, and that'll happen sometimes in Albania. You will run into people who are just like, oh, they just don't want to, maybe just don't want to do it or whatever, and they gave it back to you and told you no. And I
walked out ready to cry.
And so I took the paperwork and I was like, no, this is it. And I went in, it was just like, this is the document. You like do this.
And they looked at it and they're like, oh, okay.
I'm like, okay. And then they went through and did what needed to be done and registered her. And so it can be tedious. Again, if you plan on doing this, I strongly recommend on hiring.
And all you have to do is Google immigration lawyers in Albania. Yeah. Most of them are in Tirana. The one I worked with was in Tirana, even though we're here. It doesn't really matter. And so there's lots of options. And as far as I know, they're all good. They're all affordable. I mean, you can expect to pay between 150 euros to maybe 250. I was quoted a few different things, maybe more depending on your situation. I don't really know. But that's for the whole process from start to finish, and it's so worth it.
It's so worth it. I think there's like a few big points about this. So number one, your immigration attorney is going to know the law well. They're going to know like that situation we had with the municipality not wanting to confirm. Like they'll be like, yeah, this is the paperwork. I'm an attorney. Like this needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And so there's that part of it, and make everything go a bit more smoothly. You still have to gather documents, but they'll be better about letting you know what's wrong with your documents, mm-hmm. what has to be apostilled, what has to be notarized, what doesn't.
And in my case, they advocated for me when I ran out of time, which is nice.
So that's another point I'd say. So you have that, then you have the fact that they will advocate for you. Mm-hmm. You have the fact that many of these attorneys will have done this before and have a relationship with the people in different immigration offices, so they'll know them. And the fact that they're an attorney. So I feel like the government offices maybe take it more seriously. Like, okay, well, this is coming from X and X law firm, mm-hmm. and we know that, they do their paperwork correctly. And so, maybe not give it as strenuous a look, and are like, oh, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
Whereas when it just comes from, Joe Schmo Blow from Potwater, Florida, like going through it, like, I don't know, like this guy doesn't even know how to fill out a residency permit. Reject this. Let's just send it back to him and see what he sends back.
Well, like you said, I had the same experience where when I submitted all my documents, they're just like, they just rejected them all 2 or 3 times before they started accepting a couple of them.
Right.
And then eventually they started communicating with me a little bit. Like Lorella did actually finally reach out to me via email and give me a little bit more information about what I was missing.
Yeah, there is a woman in our local immigration office, Lorella, and she's really nice, and it's great. But you can't, like, for many of the offices, they're not going to give you that much direction. You got to kind of just like read the law, read the requirements, and figure it out yourself. And this is like why an attorney is invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the money that I would have saved on apostille fees alone would have paid for the attorney. And had I just gone with the attorney up front, I never would have paid for the extra apostilles and wasted that time. And
or you had that whole criminal background check done, which was unnecessary because you could just go to Tirana and do the affidavit.
I had that done anyway for volunteering. So I just had it on hand, so that wasn't a big deal.
So that's
nothing like walking in the immigration office and they're like, oh, you were supposed to have this in by the 30th. You're technically here illegally.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I don't want to go through that ever again.
No, it was The first time I did it, my parents were here visiting, and like I said, I kept getting different documents rejected, which I knew were like these are the documents. I don't know what else they could possibly want. And I was traveling with my parents, trying to show them the country, and so we would drive all day, go to the sites, check into our hotel, and they would go to bed, and I would sit in the cafe or the lounge for hours, resubmitting documents, putting them in like a Photoshop and trying to like make them sharper. It's like I don't know what the problem is, and then resubmitting and resubmit. Like even things like they rejected my passport the first time, and I'm like,
oh really?
Like, this is my passport. So
that was the one thing I got to go through.
Submitted it again the next day, and it cleared. So it's like very frustrating experience. So
we have a couple questions. We actually have quite a few questions that have come in while we were talking. So I'm going to try to like run through them if you want.
Please. Yeah.
Okay. Luang Prabang, I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. How much did you have to spend on real estate to be eligible for the visa?
There is no, when I did it, I don't know if this is like, again, the laws here are changing every year. Albania is trying to get into the EU. So they're trying to change everything to be compatible with EU regulations. When I did mine, there was no set limit on anything. I know North Macedonia was 40,000 euros. Albania, there was no specific price, but you can't just like buy a ruin and get a residence permit. It has to be a habitable apartment or home. That was the caveat there. It just has to be something literally livable. You need a deed that shows that, hey, this is a house. It's a functioning house, has running water, and so forth. That's kind of there. Mm-hmm. But there might be a Euro stipulation this time. Now I don't know what the new law is. Again, this is another reason an attorney is like to consult with is really nice to have.
Yeah, in case anyone's wondering, if you're a digital worker, the income requirements was either 9,000 euros or 9,500 per year, so it's pretty low.
About $13,000.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to meet that for the digital nomad visa. And I saw your message, Stephen. So I remembered that you had another name, but I just couldn't remember what it was. Thanks for mentioning that.
Dan says so many people have different stories about the process. Yeah,
everyone's story
different for everybody.
Completely different
for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be very confusing. In fact, we had somebody who was traveling through here, Ken, if you're watching that, probably not, but he was saying the immigration official told him, it's like, you don't need a residency visa. Just leave the country. You do your 1 year, leave the country for 1 day and come back and you're good.
Yeah.
Which it's like, as far as we know, the law says you have to be out for at least 90 days. But this was literally someone in the immigration office in Tirana, I believe. So it's like, it really depends on
and it wouldn't surprise me if it was like that at one point, but with them tightening up and trying to get into the EU, I wouldn't mess around with that.
I would not mess around with you because they're not going to throw you, you're not going to get a firing squad for overstaying your visa or anything.
But you will have some fines.
You'll get a fine.
I think last I checked, it was 10 euros a day. And then they cap it at like maybe 200 or 300 euros. And then if you don't pay, then you can get banned from coming back for 5 years.
Yeah. So it's not something you want to mess around with. And it's a pain, but you just have to do the paperwork. It's just like you have to follow, you're in a foreign country. If you want to be an immigrant here or an expat, then you need to follow their laws and do
or leave for 3 months.
Or leave for 3 months. Yeah. They're pretty flexible and laid back about that, especially for Americans. Albania is very pro-American, and they tend to make things pretty easy for us. In fact, even though this process, as we have described, it's pretty daunting, it's probably easier for us than it is for anyone else. So I think we're the only nationality that gets to stay for a year visa-free.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. And there is like once you're here, if you do plan on staying long term, I think you are supposed to start the visa process well before your year is over. I forget exactly what the time limit is, but don't come here and be here for 360 days and then just start your residency permit.
I think I heard from someone, an Albanian, that you are supposed to start at least 2 months out. Maybe it was 3 months.
Yeah, something.
And I didn't, but I was told I should have started it sooner.
Yeah.
Michelle says, Dan and I just picked up our residency ID cards last week.
Congratulations,
Yay.
guys.
Yay.
It's very exciting. We know that you guys had some issues too with well, maybe that was at the registering their vehicle, or they got there and then the system was down, and the internet went out.
Yeah, and we've all had those experiences. I remember one time I needed to get something mailed out, and I go to the post office and walked all the way across Toronto to find the post office because the main post office was under construction, and I get there and the internet's down. You just sit there for an hour. And Dan says, I got the Albania app. I didn't even know they had an app. I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, even the website. Right. The website was even it wasn't working very well. And it timed out all the time. He says they're very happy with their lawyer.
Yeah. It's really, again, I know I've said it 100 times, can't emphasize it enough. You don't want to deal with those sorts of things. Get an attorney. They deal with Albania. They'll deal with you. Yeah. Your responsibility will be to get the documents in order, submit them to your attorney, and your attorney can deal with the rest of this.
Spider Webster says, I'm afraid of that fresh docs thing. It took me so long to get an apartment here that I think some of my docs are older. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a legitimate concern. If you have documents that are older than 6 months, there's a very real chance they will say, nope, we're not accepting it. Including if it's apostilled and everything, like even like birth certificates and things like that. It's like, it's my birth certificate. The document hasn't changed. You have official seals from the state that this is, it can be real. And again, everyone's experience is different. Depends on what person looks at your application. Someone might be like, oh, this is fine. Someone else might be like, might be nitpicky that day, or it's like, no, this is, you need to go through this entire process again. So
yeah.
Best of luck to you, Spider Webster. If you're looking at getting a renewal anytime soon, I would suggest if you can get started on getting fresh documents, or at least something else that I did with one of my documents last time was before it expired, I went and got it notarized again, and it somehow restarted the clock, and that worked.
There's always a workaround.
There's usually a workaround, but yeah, I would suggest, look, again, Spider Webster, get an attorney and discuss with them exactly what needs to be done, and do it sooner than later, because you don't want this creeping up on you and then you getting bottlenecked and stressed out and have all this paperwork that needs to be done. Oh, this is going to take a month for me to even get this document, or longer. Like, get ahead of it. You'll thank me for it, I promise.
Dan says, we used a licensed interpreter when we bought our place. She was a flat fee of 35 euros. Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Mine wasn't a flat fee. It was per document, and it came to about the same, probably about 40, I think.
I think they're saying they use them for their attorney and everything. Is that right, Dan? Did you actually use it to do your whole process? Interpreter. Oh, just the interpreter.
Yeah.
I see, okay.
Spider Webster says, yeah, I got the FBI clearance apostilled from overseas here, and that was about $250 to get done. Cheaper to do the affidavit and have the notarized at the embassy. Yeah. I think
it's $50 some to have that done at the embassy. So you make an appointment. Make sure you print out the little page they say, because it's going to have a unique number on it.
I didn't need that.
You didn't end up needing that? I needed it. Well, actually, here's the thing. If you have to change the date, if you need to cancel the appointment or something like that, they're going to ask you for this unique number. And if you don't have it, you're kind of...
Yeah, I brought it. They didn't ask for it. They just looked at my ID, and they had me on a list for that day. They were they have a list of everyone's appointments, and they didn't look at the number.
Yeah, I was in a situation where I had to change. Something happened. I don't remember what. I had to change my appointment date. And when I went to go do that online, it was requesting this number. And I was like, gotcha. I don't remember. And they don't send it to you in an email. So I ended up having to send them email the embassy a couple of messages. And like, hey, I lost my confirmation number, but I need to change my appointment. So they did go ahead and cancel it. And then I had to go into the system and make a new appointment. And that time I printed that page out and made sure I didn't lose that number in case I had any more problems. So
yeah. And I remember when I was scheduling my appointment, they scheduled out several weeks. Like, they were booked up for a while. So that's another thing you just don't want to wait till the last minute to do.
Don't wait till the last minute to do anything here, because things take time. And especially this time of year, there's lots of holidays. So that can run into some issues. So
It was a little confusing when we got to the embassy too. Like if you hadn't already been there, I would have been super confused about where to go in and everything. But you knew to walk down that path.
Yeah.
And there was just a group of people waiting outside, and I didn't really know what we were doing. Like if you weren't there, I would have been really confused because there was no one to ask until that guy finally came to the window. Because I'm like, my appointment time is like now. I can't get in, and
well, luckily I had already done my initial permit, and I had done it all myself, so I had been through the blender, so to speak, and I was able to help you with several different aspects of it just to make it go a little bit smoother. But even then, it was like opening the bank account, getting the embassy done, getting your documents for your residency in the city here, and all that stuff. So
let's talk about the bank account, because so that's a requirement for my application. And I went to a couple banks, and they told me that I couldn't open a bank account unless I had a residency permit. And I was like, well, I can't apply for a residency permit unless I have a bank account. And they were just like...
It was very chicken and egg kind of situation. So.
And I was, once again, ready to just give up and be done with it. And you ended up telling me that you knew a guy, and you had a bank account here, and you took me to your guy who helped you. And I was able to open one at OTP Bank. Now, we have other friends that went to OTP, and they were denied one for the same reason.
Yeah.
They were denied also at several banks. They had the same issue. They went to several banks to open an account, and they said, you can't have one unless you have a residency permit.
It all depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they went to OTP.
I'm not that surprised. Like you can go there and you deal with the wrong person, and they might just not want to deal with like
the paperwork.
Like,
and that's true too. That's a ton of paperwork. When they open a bank account, you fill out all these. They have like all these paperwork. This paperwork they have to fill out. It's kind of an archaic system. When you go to banks and any of these offices, behind them they have like filing cabinets, and they have these printers, and they do everything by paperwork. So it's a lot more legwork than it is like in the U.S. where everything's digital now.
So if you get the wrong person at the bank, they might just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't do that."
Yeah.
Even though they could. So luckily, I know a guy at OTP, kind of know, like I guess an acquaintance, and he's helped me with a few things. And anytime I have a problem, I can go in there, and he helps me with it. So even to like, you'll open a bank account and you'll think, oh, you get your debit card, but you don't. You have to do like separate paperwork to get a debit card. You have to request it too.
Yeah, make sure you ask for a debit card. And then they don't tell you when it's in. I just finally went back in like a month or two later and waited in line for like an hour, and finally got my debit card.
Yeah. So that's an important note, and it can be. And I think, once again, if you have an attorney, that's something they can help you with.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Miss Shelley even wrote, our lawyer told us which bank to go to in Tirana and to use her name. So that's exactly it.
Yeah. Where are we? Spider Webster says if you're in the U.S. and get more than one apostille copy of your docs, it's more money up front, but it's better be covered in case someone insists on taking your original. Oh, that's a good tip.
And that is a very good tip, because they will take your original. So if you have multiple things going on, I did this. After my initial foray into this and I'm having all the problems I had, next time I needed apostilles, I got like 4 of them. I just I paid the extra money and got a stack of apostille documents. It's like they'll take them, and it's like, oh well, I also wanted to buy a car. Now I don't have the because they won't accept the copy. You got to have an original.
Yeah.
So that's a great point.
Oh,
so
get this.
When you do this, just spend a little extra money, get multiple copies of everything.
Good tip. Thanks, Spider Webster. Dan says, "Wow, we just sent some emails back and forth with the attorney. Then we visited the lawyer's office and signed a few documents. We had to take papers to 3 different government offices."
Yeah. That's a bit of a runaround, but that actually sounds pretty smooth. And again, that's the result of going through an attorney.
Yeah. Lost my spot. 1 moment. Oh, here we go. Michelle, we knew we wanted residency, so we got a lawyer before we moved and started with them the week we arrived. That's nice. And I know that there's a lot of lawyers that might not want to communicate with Americans that aren't here yet, because they probably get a lot of inquiries and a lot of questions
Especially
from people
lately,
who are more or less wasting their time because they end up not coming and they end up not making money. So they may or may not communicate with you. You might have to reach out to several lawyers if you're not here yet to get one to like start communicating with you and taking you seriously.
Yeah, so before I did my residency, in order to purchase I had to have my property first. It was a little scary. It's like I had to make this huge purchase before I even technically had a residency permit.
Yeah.
So I went through LPA law firm in Toronto, and they're a little expensive, but they're very, very professional. And so I needed to open an LLC, and they helped me with the things I needed for the property. So very professional. It was like over $1,000, I think. But again, I was opening a business and I was doing the purchase of the property. And they were going to do the residency permit too, but I was like, and I kind of read the requirements online. I was like, this is easy. I can do this myself. So I didn't stick with them for that. But they were very responsive to me when I was in the U.S. So if all else fails and you're not getting a response, LPA will probably work with you. Just, don't bother them if you're not really serious.
Yeah. Dan says he forgot his receipt. The poor immigration officer had to dig through a shoebox of cards. I think he felt sorry for me riding an hour each way in the rain on a Vespa. That's good that he felt sorry for you because very well he could have just said, sorry, you got to start over or something like that.
So Dan forgot his little yellow
stamp. He forgot the card.
Yeah. He didn't bring it back. You think you're done? You think you're done with it because it's like, you present it to them, they do your biometrics, and they stamp it.
Right. They don't necessarily, they may or may not actually tell you to keep it.
They might, yeah.
They might just
have a nice day. We'll see you. Come back in 2 weeks. And you show back up in 2 weeks and you don't have your stamp. And they're like, you got to have the stamp.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's important. Like I said, just bring all your shit everywhere you go. So you have
every time. Yeah. Spider Webster says, one thing about the FBI clearance apostille is that it's good to have anyway in case you ever need to go to another country. She says that not all of them will accept the notarized affidavit. So that's a really good tip. Hey, Jess. Jess just walked in. We're still live streaming. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is a good tip.
Good tip,
But if you don't plan on doing that, then, going to the embassy and getting the affidavit is one of the most seamless things that I did for the whole process.
Yeah, no kidding. Steven says, is there a retiree visa here? I am retired, thanks.
Yeah, I believe there is. Again, neither one of us have that visa, but I am.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I can't give you more info on that.
I would say I'm 80% sure that there is, maybe even more so. Yeah.
Michelle says, yes, there is.
Okay.
So we know there is. Steven says, I will look into that also. I've been here since June of this year. Awesome. Yeah, we don't know much about it. Spider Webster says, I've been doing it all as fast as I can. Finding a rental was the holdup. That's interesting that you had trouble finding a rental. I found one pretty quickly, but that was 1.5 years ago and things were different.
Things have changed. Yeah, for sure. Albania has gotten a lot more popular with a lot more people are leaving the U.S. and Albania has at the same time gotten a lot more popular. And like I said, it's a very pro-American country. So moving to Albania is a lot easier than moving to almost anywhere else on the globe. So it's become very attractive for Americans who want to retire here or just move over here and work digitally like you and have a different lifestyle and so forth. Yeah.
Dan says, Stephen, we qualified for pensionist visas, but we heard that property owners was easier. Interesting. Yeah, there are so many visas. So they're all going to have completely different requirements.
Yeah, I felt like the requirements for my visa were, it was hard, obviously, but the requirements were pretty straightforward. The hardest thing I don't even think I didn't need any apostille documents for my residency. I needed a lot of apostille documents to purchase my home.
That's interesting.
But for the rest of it, it was, I needed proof that, a bank account, proof that I had enough money in it to support myself. I needed my property certificate, which is what I just had to get renewed. The affidavit. Actually, no, they didn't even ask for the affidavit, the FBI background check.
Really?
Yeah, I went and did it, and then I ended up not needing it.
So the only apostilles I needed were for my employment contract and the background check. And so I was able to do the background check here. But then we have other friends who they needed at least 3, maybe 4 documents apostilled, including like birth certificates and things.
Yeah, for mine, I didn't need anything. But no, and again, this was a couple of years ago, so things may have changed. But at the time, I didn't need any of that. I needed my ID, my social security card, and these things like copied and notarized and that kind of stuff. But the only apostilles I needed were for my property purchase, and I needed those 3, which were very difficult because it was 3 different documents from 3 different states. Yeah.
Wow. Spider Webster says, "Yep, had that as well. Just got my bank account this week. Congrats." Almost didn't give me one though. I explained the catch-22, and she had mercy on me. See, it's just as simple as like whether or not they feel like dealing with you, and
it really is.
It was nice that person came around and opened one for
you. Okay, I'll do my job. What bank did you go through, if you don't mind me asking? So it might be good reference for other people. Like we used OTP.
OTP worked fine for us, but then our friends went to OTP and they said no. And where did they end up going? Maybe Union? Yeah,
I went to actually a bank called American Bank of Investments, and they wouldn't do it. So I ended up at OTP.
But I'm American.
So Spider Webster says she went through Union Bank, so that makes sense. Those tend to be, quote unquote, the easiest. Not the American Bank of Investments, ironically, which I think is like affiliated with Wells Fargo or something.
Oh, interesting.
Ironic, but they said they wouldn't give me anything until I had a permit. And same with I think it's BKT or BTK.
Yeah.
I don't remember the acronym. But I know their savings account has like a higher rate on it or something like that. So maybe I'll open an account with them. We'll see.
Steven says to Dan, "I'm on the fence about buying property here, but we'll look into both residency options." Yeah, it's good to look at all your options because one might be easier than another.
Yeah.
Dan said Union Bank in Tirana at the King Zog statue.
Not perfect.
I have to keep rebooting this. Michelle says our lawyer knew we had already bought property. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. That definitely makes it easier. If you went to that extent where you actually purchased property here, they're going to maybe be a little bit more lenient with you. It's like, well, like I just bought a house here. Like, come on, like
let me in.
Let me in, yeah. So you've obviously made a significant investment in the country, and that tends to go a little bit more smoothly.
Yeah. Spider Webster says Union Bank, which was recommended by the permit expediter. Wonderful. Alessi Scrabble Buddy says, if you buy a new build, you can qualify for that residency if you aren't living in it yet.
Yes.
Oh,
correct.
Cool. Yeah. Or does the build have to be complete?
Oh, new build. Oh, I'm sorry.
So as you're building, can you?
If you have a property document, I would imagine that would probably be fine.
But you said the property has to be livable.
Yeah, that would. I mean, if you have a property document,
talk to a lawyer.
Seriously, talk to a lawyer. I don't think they would be able to tell if you have like a valid property document that shows you own a. Well, if the document's been produced, it's probably showing that it's a habitable property. If you just buy a ruin, you're going to get what's a document that's true all, which is basically means it's just land, as opposed to it being an actual structured deed. So
good question. We don't know.
Yeah, good question. We don't know. Consult a lawyer.
Spicer Webster. And Tessa San Paolo will give accounts to foreigners who are working here, but not any other type. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's an Italian bank that's also here in Albania.
It might be at the end.
And OTP is actually Hungarian, I believe. So
is it?
Either one of those banks or even Albanian.
Yeah.
I don't know what Union Bank is.
So OTP that's the nice thing too, is they are in several of the countries here in Europe.
Spider Webster wants to know if we're looking forward to the Chestnut and Wine Festival. Yes, I've been to it twice now, and always a good time. Like chestnuts, love wine. So, very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some recording while we're there. It'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. There's live music, and lots of people have, vendors will have grills set up, and they'll be grilling kebabi and things like that, or kanachi, I should say, in Albanian. And yeah, just the smell, like the smell of all the grilled meats is worth it for that. And then
fun just to walk around.
Yeah, and the last one I went to, they had a band that was doing a bunch of Bob Marley music and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really cool. Really had a good time.
Steven's asking when it is. I'm gonna find out right now because I forget.
Spiderweb.
I think it's next week.
Going, but assume hotel rates will go up if they aren't already booked. I don't know. One of the times I went to it was when I was just traveling here before I moved into my house. And I don't remember the hotel rate being expensive, specifically because, you know, it's late in the year and Pogradets is pretty slow this time of year. So hotels are happy to have guests. It's a festival, but it's not like massive. I think it's mostly locals that come
I think
to it.
so too. But I'm not really sure. I had the flyer for it, Steven, and I don't anymore.
Spiderweb's December 5th and 6th.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, hopefully my foot will be better by then, and I can get around.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to be much fun. You'll have to push me around in a cart.
All right. So we're almost to the end here, and we've been on for a while.
Yeah, been on for a while.
We should probably wrap it up.
Have any other questions? When's the festival happening? Again, December 5th and 6th.
No,
so if you're in Albania and you like chestnuts and wine, come visit our cute little town here, Pogradets, and partake in the festival. Like I said, music, grilled meats, and wine and chestnuts. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that.
Spider Webster says e-bikes and e-trikes are great for mobility when you can't walk much. If I could find an e-trike for you, that would be so fun.
I have a bike.
We have this scooter. You could drive around.
Let's just knock on wood that my foot's better by then and I'm mobile because this kind of sucks. So, yeah, very frustrating.
All right, y'all. Thanks for being here, Alessi, Scrabble Buddy, Spider Webster, Steven, Michelle, Dan, and anyone else I forgot. We appreciate everyone who came to watch and participate in the discussion or just hang out and learn. Yeah,
always appreciate people coming to watch the live streams and coming to my channel. And those of you, I think everybody here is already subscribed to New Life Albania, which is Andrea's channel. If you aren't, please appreciate it if you subscribe to her channel as well. And we'll try to keep putting out content for you guys. And thanks for coming. We both really appreciate it, and we always enjoy interacting with you folks. So
not in them mirror.
Not in the mirror.